host of RHI, Stories of Courage, Hope, Attitude, and Inspiration, brought to you by Wilson Keyhone Winningham, our generous sponsor. It's Wednesday. Good morning. My name is Janine Stelmack. I'm one of the Donor Services Officer with the RHI Foundation, and today our special guest is JD Lucas.
Hi.
Thank you for coming. I know you guys came up from Bloomington, so I really appreciate it. It's a little bit of a drive, but missing a little bit of the traffic, I hope.
We appreciate you asking us to come.
Oh, thank you. So I want you to go ahead and just kind of start your journey coming to RHI, how you got to RHI and why.
I came to RHI by way of a stroke. I had on the 7th of June in 2017, I had a stroke, and I was the lucky one to get to the hospital. An hour of my stroke, I received Help Save You. I'm not sure what that shot is, but then just as soon as I got that, they put me on Lifeline to Methodist Hospital, and I immediately went up there, and I had a surgery to relieve the clot in my head, and I was at Methodist for about 3 weeks, and after that, then I came to RHI, and honestly, when I came to RHI, I was terrified. I didn't know what RHI was. They just told me I was going to RHI. I didn't know what that meant. And when I got here, they put me in a room by myself, and quite honestly, I was scared. And I spent the first night just trying to figure things out, trying to figure out where I was, what was going on. And the nursing staff was very helpful. They kept coming in, checking on me about every hour, asking me if I needed anything. I kept saying, no, I'm fine. But I did want to get up. And then one nurse kind of shocked me, and she said, well, you can't get up. You're paralyzed in your left leg and your left arm. And I was surprised because at Methodist Hospital, I would thought somebody would have told me that, but they did not. And it wasn't until I got to RHI that I realized that, in fact, I was paralyzed in my left leg and my left arm. And I told the nurse, I said, no, that's not the case. I said, I can move my left leg. She said, well, go ahead and try. And so I looked at my left leg, and I tried to move it, and sure enough, it wouldn't move. In my mind, it was moving, but in reality, it was not. And so I spent the next several weeks then in therapy with some of the greatest staff I've ever met, helping me to regain my ability to walk. It affected my speech a little bit, but again, I was lucky. In order to receive that shot in time, I didn't have the breakdown in the capacity to speak. So I got that back really quick. And I got my left arm back pretty quick. My left leg, not so much. It took several weeks to get that back. But again, it was largely due to the encouragement of the staff here, particularly Jenny, who was one of the therapists. Oh, she was just wonderful. And matter of fact, one of the doctors here, Dr. Carboni, said that she was going to do a personal study on Jenny because she had had so much success with patients, and that I was so lucky to have had Jenny for a therapist. And I agree. Jenny was wonderful. And she encouraged me every step of the way. There wasn't any time I ever talked to her that she wasn't encouraging you one way or another. And all the staff, that worked with me, they helped me lay out a plan. They told me what the plan was and what the progression of the plan was. And basically we made a plan, and then we worked the plan. And I couldn't have done it without them. One thing that I would like to mention, when I came here, I was terrified. I was scared. And I'd never been in anything like this before, and I didn't want to be here. And I was telling a friend of mine, when I come back now, I find it very comforting to come back here. I enjoy to come back here. And I'm very thankful for all that RHI has done for me.
JD, you were saying, excuse me, you were saying too, so when you first came in and first started going to your therapy in-house, you were in a wheelchair, and how you progressed. You went from a wheelchair to...
Yeah, that's right. They put me in a wheelchair to begin with, and I realized not only I, but everyone was in a wheelchair, and I didn't like being in a wheelchair. But one of the nurses told me, she said, "This is your new norm. You have to get used to this." And I thought, this wheelchair is not my new norm. And she said, "Your new norm is what you want it to be. So the harder you work, the easier it'll be to change your norm." So again, Jenny helped me make a plan to progress from the wheelchair to the walker to the cane. And honestly, Jenny told me, she said, "That's probably as far as you're going to go. You're probably going to have a cane the rest of your life." I told her, I said, "I don't think I want to have a cane the rest of my life." And she goes, "Well, it's all up to you." She said, "I will help you to achieve that if that's what you want." And I said, "Well, it is." And so again, they helped me make a plan to do that. And I was in the wheelchair for several weeks. And finally, I kept asking Jenny, I said, "When can I try the walker? When can I try the walker?" And she said, "We have to be able to get you up so that you can stand on your own." And so within a week of that, prodding Jenny to help me stand, I stood, and they put me in a machine down here in a harness, and she kept saying, "We're going to do that machine tomorrow. We're going to do that machine tomorrow." Well, 2 days of her saying tomorrow, I kept saying, "No, I don't want, I'm not ready. I'm not ready." After 2 days of putting it off, she said, "Today's the day." And she said, "You're going to do that." And I was so afraid of that machine. It looked like a torture machine. And they put me in that harness and hung me in there. And you know what? You're going to walk in that machine whether you want to or not. But I did. I got in the machine, and I started to walk. They helped me start moving my left leg. Physically, they grabbed my leg and made it move back and forth. But after about, 10, 15 minutes of moving back and forth, I could start to feel the muscles start to work. I could move it myself. Not a great deal, but I could move it somewhat. And from there, Jenny she goes, "You're on your way. You're on your way." And I said, "Thank you so much." And I knew I was on my way. So I went from the wheelchair then to the walker, and I had the walker for about a week. And then from there, I got the cane. And Jenny told me when she gave me the cane, she said, "Honestly, I thought that you were probably going to be stuck with the cane for the rest of your life." She said, "But I honestly don't think that's the case now. I think if you want to lose the cane, you probably can in a couple months or so." And within a few short weeks, I was able to not walk far, but I could walk short distances without the cane. But I give them all the credit. They're the ones that helped me do it.
Now, you also did a little bit of work up at Northwest Brain Injury Center, NRC.
I did. I had a couple appointments. I went up there, and they helped me with some more of a, I'm not sure what you call it. I had to take several of these tests and stuff, and but they helped me kind of work through some of the thought processes that I hadn't really given much. I didn't know to give thought to, but they kind of helped me understand what to expect in my thinking, how to be deductive in my thinking. Always before, I was really good with numbers. I could calculate, math problems pretty quick in my head, and I wasn't able to do that at that point, but they kind of helped me see some different things that I needed to take a look at differently, and before long, I was able to regain my skills, to calculate numbers and things like that.
So now you're driving, right?
I am driving.
Yeah.
I had to take a driving test, which was kind of embarrassing, really. Here I am. I was 56 years old at that point, and I have to go take a driving test. And literally, I was in a car with a lady that had the pedals on the other side too. And I told her, I said, whatever you do, please don't touch the pedals. I said, let me do this. And she said, I will, unless you're going to have an accident. And you know what? In my driving test, I did roll a stop sign, and I did, it took me a little longer to parallel park than what she thought maybe it should have, but I did pass my driving test, and I did regain the ability to drive. I was never denied my driver's license, but I was under medical suspension to drive, and but I got that back, and now I go wherever I want to go, and I do the same things I always used to do.
Good deal.
So
if you were gonna speaking to somebody else that will see this, that has gone through the same, what kind of words would you offer so far as encouragement or inspiration or?
lay your trust in the staff here at RHI. Tell them what your worries are. Tell them what kind of plan you'd like to make. Tell them the success that you'd like to see, and they will help you develop a plan to get there.
All right, JD, thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No, thank you. And thank you to our sponsor, Wilson Keyhone Winningham. And we'll say bye for now from RHI Live.